The story begins on a mysterious island located in the middle of the ocean. We are shown a massive stadium packed with thousands of excited visitors. Everyone's attention is focused on the staff standing in front of them. At a signal from the staff, a huge 3-meter-long shark is slowly lifted out of the water as bait. The young boy sitting in the audience immediately realizes that something incredible is about to happen. He quickly tells his older brother to look. The moment his brother raises his head, a gigantic creature suddenly bursts out of the water. At the same time, the viewing platform slowly begins descending underground. In reality, an even more dangerous show is waiting below. As the platform reaches the lower level, the enormous creature becomes clearly visible. The crowd's excitement reaches a whole new level. Then, in the middle of thunderous applause, the giant predator known as the Mosasaurus swallows the entire shark in a single bite. In this futuristic world, a powerful technology company has successfully brought dinosaurs back to life using advanced genetic engineering. To make money from this breakthrough, they purchased an entire island and transformed it into a dinosaur theme park known as Jurassic World. The park quickly becomes the biggest tourist attraction on Earth. Millions of visitors travel there every year to see living dinosaurs with their own eyes. However, after 20 years of successful operation, people begin losing interest. Dinosaurs are no longer viewed as amazing creatures. They have become as ordinary as animals in a zoo. To increase profits and attract visitors again, Dr. Wu and his team decide to create something completely new. By combining the DNA of multiple species, they engineer a terrifying hybrid dinosaur called Indominus Rex. The monster is specifically designed to amaze and terrify visitors. Unfortunately, nobody realizes that this creation will become the greatest threat the park has ever faced. Around the same time, the park's owner arrives to inspect Indominus Rex. He soon learns that the creature is much larger and far more intelligent than expected. It has already attempted to escape several times by trying to break through its enclosure. Concerned about the danger, the owner calls Owen, a retired Navy trainer, to inspect the situation. Owen previously served in the military and now works at Jurassic World, where he specializes in training velociraptors. At the moment, he is inside the raptor paddock, using techniques he learned during his military career to control the deadly predators. Surprisingly, his methods actually work, but suddenly, an accident occurs. A new worker enters the enclosure to feed a small pig to the raptors. As he tries to handle the animal, one of the raptors suddenly grabs him and drags him deeper into the enclosure. Within seconds, all of the raptors focus their attention on the terrified employee. The situation becomes extremely dangerous. The man is only moments away from becoming their next meal. Without hesitation, Owen opens the gate and rushes inside. He positions himself between the worker and the predators while continuously ordering the raptors to back away. After a tense struggle, Owen's team manages to pull the worker to safety, but the danger is not over. The raptors lower their bodies into hunting positions, and Owen immediately realizes that he has become their new target. Carefully, he continues giving commands while slowly backing toward the exit. Just as the gate is about to close, Owen dives forward and rolls through the opening at the last possible second. The gate slams shut behind him. His life has been saved. Later, Claire takes Owen to see Indominus Rex. She explains that the creature is a secret hybrid created using Tyrannosaurus Rex DNA and several other species. She also reveals that the dinosaur has been raised in complete isolation since birth. Hearing this, Owen immediately warns her that isolation can make the animal unpredictable and dangerous. He asks to see the creature. However, when food is dropped into the enclosure, Indominus Rex is nowhere to be seen. Everyone becomes nervous. Even stranger, the thermal tracking system cannot detect any heat signatures inside the enclosure. It is as if the giant monster has simply vanished into thin air. Then Owen notices massive claw marks running up the walls. From the evidence, everyone assumes that Indominus Rex has somehow climbed out and escaped. Claire's face turns pale. She immediately heads back to the control center and orders her team to locate the tracking chip implanted inside the dinosaur. Meanwhile, Owen and several guards enter the enclosure to investigate how the creature escaped. But then a terrifying message arrives from the control room. The tracking chip shows that Indominus Rex is still inside the enclosure.
The moment the control room confirms that the tracking chip is still inside the enclosure, everyone is shocked. Owen and the guards are standing right in the middle of the paddock, examining the giant claw marks on the wall. The control room staff immediately calls them and orders them to get out of there as fast as possible. The second Owen hears the warning, he turns around and starts sprinting toward the gate. At that exact moment, one of the guards notices something terrifying. Indominus Rex is moving directly toward
toward them. Suddenly, the giant predator bursts out of hiding and attacks one of the guards. Panic spreads instantly. Another guard rushes toward the exit gate and opens it. When he sees his teammate being killed by the monster, fear completely takes over. Without thinking, he runs out of the enclosure. Meanwhile, Owen continues running with everything he has. Just before the gate closes, he manages to escape, but Indominus Rex isn't finished. Using the small gap left in the gate, the massive dinosaur slams into it with tremendous force, smashing the entire structure apart and escaping into the park. Realizing he has nowhere to run, Owen quickly slides underneath a nearby vehicle and hides. From beneath the car, he watches every movement of the terrifying predator. The heavy footsteps tell him that Indominus is moving toward the surviving guard. The terrified guard is hiding behind another vehicle, barely able to breathe. Then the monster appears. Like a nightmare brought to life, Indominus Rex grabs the guard and swallows him whole. To save himself, Owen quickly cuts the fuel line of the vehicle above him and allows gasoline to spill everywhere. The strong smell masks his scent. Fortunately, the trick works. Unable to detect Owen's presence, Indominus Rex roars loudly and eventually walks away. But now the most dangerous dinosaur ever created is free. Back in the control room, panic spreads among the staff. They soon discover that Indominus Rex is heading toward the visitor area, nearly 5,000 meters away. The worst part? More than 20,000 people are currently there. Claire immediately wants to activate the emergency alarm system. However, the park owner stops her. He knows that activating a full evacuation would damage the park's reputation and could even lead to its closure. Confident that the security teams can handle the situation, he refuses to shut the park down. Meanwhile, a heavily armed security team arrives at the location where the tracking chip is signaling. But when they reach the area, Indominus Rex is nowhere to be found. Then the team leader notices something lying on the ground. The tracking chip. The dinosaur has somehow removed it from its own body. Suddenly, drops of blood begin falling onto the team leader's hand. Everyone slowly looks upward. What they see freezes them with fear. Using DNA from a cuttlefish and other species, Indominus Rex has camouflaged itself perfectly against its surroundings. The giant predator is hanging above them, almost invisible. The team leader tries to run, but it's already too late. Indominus Rex lunges forward and grabs him instantly. The remaining guards open fire with their stun weapons, hoping to stop the monster. Instead, Indominus crushes the team leader beneath its enormous foot. The guards continue firing electrical rounds, but nothing seems to work. One by one, the dinosaur brutally kills every member of the team. In less than a minute, multiple people are dead. When Owen learns what happened, he becomes furious. He warns Claire that Indominus Rex is not a normal animal. It is a monster that doesn't even understand what it truly is. If it reaches civilization, it will kill everything it encounters. According to Owen, the only way to stop it now is with real military-grade weapons. Claire doesn't want the park she worked so hard to build to become a battlefield, so she rejects his suggestion. Owen storms out of the control room. However, after realizing how serious the situation has become, Claire finally activates the emergency alarm across the entire park. At the same time, Claire's two nephews are enjoying one of the park's automated tours. Just as their tour vehicle begins moving, the emergency warning is triggered. All tour vehicles are ordered to stop and return immediately. But strangely, their vehicle doesn't stop. Instead, it continues moving deeper into the park. This section contains several peaceful herbivorous dinosaurs, including Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and the giant Brachiosaurus. Everything seems calm. Then, a warning message suddenly appears inside the vehicle, informing them that a system malfunction has occurred and that the tour will automatically return to the hotel area. The older brother doesn't want the adventure to end.
Using his special access wristband, which he received because their Aunt Claire is the park's operations manager, he overrides the system. Ignoring the warnings, he drives the vehicle even deeper into restricted areas of the park. Back at the control center, Claire suddenly remembers her nephews and tries calling them, but the network connection is gone. She asks the staff whether all tour vehicles have returned safely. After checking the system, the staff delivers terrible news. Only one tour vehicle is still missing, and it belongs to Claire's nephews. Realizing they may be trapped somewhere inside the park with Indominus Rex on the loose, Claire immediately orders a rescue mission. Unfortunately, every available rescue team is already busy dealing with the disaster. With no other choice, she turns to the one person capable of helping, Owen. Meanwhile, the two brothers continue driving deeper into the restricted area of the park. Soon, they reach the end of the official tour route and notice that a massive fence ahead has been completely destroyed by something incredibly powerful. Instead of turning back, the older brother decides to drive through the opening. After traveling for a while, they enter a dense jungle filled with ankylosauruses peacefully grazing among the trees. At first glance, the older brother counts 4 of them, but the younger brother insists that there are actually 5. The older
older brother begins counting again. Then he suddenly realizes something horrifying. The fifth dinosaur isn't standing with the others. It is merely a reflection in the glass. Standing directly behind their vehicle is Indominus Rex. The giant predator has silently approached without making a sound. Suddenly, it lets out a deafening roar and kicks the tour vehicle with incredible force. The car is launched several feet through the air. Before the brothers can react, an ankylosaurus swings its heavy tail and accidentally smashes into the vehicle, sending it tumbling even farther away. Indominus Rex immediately becomes distracted. Believing the ankylosaurus is interfering with its hunt, the monster attacks. A brutal battle begins. Indominus tries to bite through the ankylosaurus's armored hide, but its thick natural armor is so strong that even the giant predator struggles. Indominus uses its enormous claws to slash deep wounds across the dinosaur's back. After a violent struggle, it finally flips the ankylosaurus over and kills it. Watching the entire fight unfold, the two brothers are completely terrified. Then Claire's phone suddenly rings inside the damaged vehicle. The sound immediately catches Indominus Rex's attention. The predator slowly turns toward the car. For a few moments, it simply stares. Then it wraps its giant claws around the vehicle. Opening its massive jaws, it attempts to swallow the car whole. When that doesn't work, it changes tactics. Using its teeth, the monster grabs the vehicle and repeatedly slams it against the ground. Each impact brings the windows closer to shattering. Realizing they have only seconds left, the older brother quickly unbuckles his seatbelt and helps his younger brother escape through an opening. But Indominus notices them immediately. The hunt begins. The brothers sprint through the jungle with the monster chasing them. Fortunately, they spot a waterfall ahead. Just as Indominus opens its jaws to grab them, both brothers leap off the cliff and plunge into the water below. The giant predator narrowly misses them. At the same time, Claire and Owen arrive in the jungle to search for the missing boys. However, they quickly realize how much the situation has changed. Everywhere they look, dead dinosaurs lie scattered across the landscape. Indominus Rex has been killing far more than it needs to survive. This confirms Owen's worst fears. The creature isn't hunting for food, it is killing simply because it can. Eventually, they discover the destroyed tour vehicle. When Claire sees the wreckage and finds a phone lying nearby, she becomes convinced that her nephews are dead. The thought completely devastates her. But Owen notices footprints leading away from the crash site. Following the tracks to the waterfall, he concludes that the boys likely survived and escaped. For the first time in hours, Claire feels a little hope. Back at the control center, another alarming development emerges. Because of the emergency evacuation, more than 20,000 visitors have gathered in the resort area. Unfortunately, Indominus Rex is heading directly toward that location. It is clear that a massive disaster is about to occur. With no other options remaining, the park owner finally agrees to use heavy weapons. Because of staff shortages, he personally joins the mission and takes control of an armed helicopter.
Soon, the strike team locates Indominus Rex. Without hesitation, they open fire. Under the barrage of bullets, the monster charges into the aviary, the enclosure containing dozens of flying dinosaurs. The attack creates complete chaos. Hundreds of flying reptiles burst out into the open sky. Within seconds, the situation becomes even worse. One soldier is snatched out of the helicopter by a flying dinosaur. Another crashes into the helicopter's windshield. The aircraft begins losing control. As it spirals downward, it crashes catastrophically. The park owner is killed in the crash. Now the flying dinosaurs are loose. The entire island falls into panic. Seeing the danger, Owen and Claire flee into the jungle. Meanwhile, the two brothers find an abandoned vehicle and use it to escape the forest. But the younger brother notices something terrifying. The flying dinosaurs are following them. Realizing the danger, he urges his brother to drive faster. Eventually, they reach the park's main entrance where employees finally spot them. At the same time, Claire receives a message confirming that her nephews are alive. Relieved, she and Owen find another vehicle and head toward the resort to reunite with them. Meanwhile, every attraction in the park has been shut down. Thousands of visitors remain trapped inside the resort. Suddenly, an emergency broadcast orders everyone to seek shelter immediately. At first, nobody understands what's happening. Then they look up. The sky is filled with flying dinosaurs. Panic erupts instantly. People begin screaming and running in every direction. The flying predators dive into the crowds and start attacking visitors. The resort transforms into a nightmare. Everywhere, people are fighting for their lives. As chaos spreads throughout the resort, the two brothers finally make it to safety and reunite with Claire's assistant. She quickly tries to lead them away from danger, but before they can escape, one of the flying dinosaurs suddenly swoops down and grabs her. The terrified brothers can do nothing but watch as she is carried high into the air. Moments later, the creature drops her into the lagoon below. Unfortunately, that lagoon belongs to the Mosasaurus. Unaware of the danger, several flying dinosaurs dive into the water and continue attacking her. Then, without warning, the gigantic Mosasaurus explodes out of the water. With one massive bite, it swallows both the assistant and the attacking dinosaur
whole before disappearing beneath the surface again. The brothers are horrified. Luckily, security teams arrive and begin firing tranquilizer darts at the flying creatures. For a short time, the resort area becomes safer. However, an even bigger problem is about to begin. A military officer arrives and immediately takes control of the operation. This officer has been waiting for an opportunity to prove his secret plan. His idea is simple but dangerous. Use Owen's trained velociraptors to hunt Indominus Rex. If the mission succeeds, the military could use raptors as living weapons in future operations. When Owen hears this, he becomes furious. He storms over and punches the officer directly in the face. After all, Owen has raised these raptors since they were young. He doesn't want them sent into a deadly mission, but with more than 20,000 lives at risk, there are very few options left. Eventually, Owen reluctantly agrees. A plan is created. The raptors will use their incredible sense of smell to track Indominus Rex through the jungle. Armed soldiers will follow behind and attack once the target is located. Meanwhile, Claire is worried that her nephews might wander off again. To keep them safe, she places them inside a secure control vehicle while she monitors the operation. Once everything is ready, Owen takes a piece of Indominus Rex meat and allows the raptors to smell it. The cages are opened. One by one, the deadly predators race into the jungle. Soldiers follow closely behind. The entire team moves deeper and deeper into the forest until the raptors suddenly stop. Everyone becomes tense. Weapons are raised. Something is nearby. Then, a giant figure slowly emerges from the trees. Indominus Rex. The monster steps into view. Everything seems ready for the attack. But then, something unexpected happens. Instead of attacking, the raptors simply stare at Indominus Rex. The two sides appear to be communicating. Owen immediately realizes something is wrong. Suddenly, the truth hits him. Indominus Rex contains velociraptor DNA. That means it can communicate with the raptors. The military officer watches in horror. The situation is spiraling out of control. He immediately orders his soldiers to open fire. That decision becomes a disaster.
The raptors instantly turn against the humans. Instead of hunting Indominus Rex, they begin attacking the soldiers. Within minutes, most of the strike team is wiped out. The mission has completely failed. Back at the control vehicle, Claire watches the disaster unfold. Suddenly, a wounded soldier runs toward them, desperately trying to escape. Just as he reaches the vehicle, a raptor attacks and kills him. The boys panic. Claire quickly starts the vehicle and speeds away, but another raptor appears and begins chasing them. The doors are still open. The predator is getting closer every second. In desperation, they throw containers and equipment out of the vehicle to slow it down. The raptor avoids every obstacle effortlessly. Finally, Claire slams the steering wheel and crashes directly into it. The impact throws the creature aside. At that exact moment, another raptor appears near the boys. They defend themselves using electric stun sticks. Thankfully, Owen arrives just in time. Together, they escape and head toward the control center. Meanwhile, the military officer discovers that the operation has failed completely. Instead of admitting defeat, he heads to Dr. Wu's genetics laboratory. When Owen, Claire, and the others arrive at the lab, they discover that most of the scientists have already escaped by helicopter. Inside Dr. Wu's private office, they uncover the truth about Indominus Rex. The creature isn't simply a dinosaur. It contains DNA from dozens of different species. That is why it possesses so many unnatural abilities. Soon, the military officer arrives and openly admits that creating such a creature was part of his plan all along. But before he can finish speaking, the remaining raptors suddenly appear. One of them immediately turns toward him. The officer tries to control the animal the same way Owen does. It doesn't work. The raptor attacks and kills him. Realizing they are in danger, Owen, Claire, and the children escape from the laboratory. Outside, the remaining 3 raptors surround them. Among them is Blue, the leader of the pack. Owen looks directly into Blue's eyes. He can tell she still recognizes him. Slowly, he removes the tracking device attached to her head. At that moment, heavy footsteps shake the ground. Indominus Rex arrives. The giant monster approaches the group. Then something remarkable happens. Indominus attempts to command the raptors to attack the humans. Blue turns toward Owen. For a brief moment, it seems like she remembers everything. Instead of attacking, she signals Owen to run. Then she turns back toward Indominus Rex and lets out a furious roar. The final battle has begun. Blue's defiance enrages Indominus Rex. With a powerful swing of its massive tail, the hybrid monster sends Blue flying several meters through the air. But the moment Blue is attacked, the other 2 raptors rush to defend their leader. They leap at Indominus Rex and launch a fierce assault. Unfortunately, the giant hybrid is simply too powerful. Its enormous size, razor-sharp claws, and incredible strength give it a huge advantage. One by one, the raptors are overpowered and killed. The situation looks hopeless. At that very moment, Claire comes up with a desperate plan. She contacts the control room and orders them to open Paddock 9. Everyone immediately understands
understands what she's planning. If they want to stop the most powerful dinosaur in the park, they will need an even bigger predator. Moments later, the gates of Paddock 9 swing open. Out steps the original Tyrannosaurus Rex, the legendary dinosaur that became famous 20 years earlier. The aging giant slowly emerges from its enclosure. Without wasting any time, Claire cleverly lures the T-Rex toward Indominus Rex. Soon, the two monsters come face to face, and then the ultimate battle begins. The T-Rex charges forward and crashes into Indominus Rex with incredible force. For a moment, it reminds everyone who the true king of dinosaurs is. The ground shakes beneath their feet as the two giants slam into each other. Roars echo across the entire park. However, as the fight continues, the difference in strength becomes clear. Indominus Rex is larger, faster, and equipped with deadly claws. The older T-Rex slowly begins losing ground. It is pushed backward again and again. Just when defeat seems inevitable, help arrives. Blue returns. Despite being badly injured,
Suddenly, the surface of the lagoon explodes. The gigantic Mosasaurus launches out of the water. Before Indominus Rex can react, the massive marine reptile clamps its jaws around the hybrid's neck. The attack happens in an instant. Indominus Rex struggles desperately, but it's too late. The Mosasaurus drags the monster toward the depths of the lagoon. With one final pull, both creatures disappear beneath the water, and with that, the story comes to an end.